education, but she said, I want you to talk about the importance of the Virginia Standards of Learning and do they offer real results of students' learning. And I noticed we had some young people in here tonight, and with that stated, the Standards of Learning, we actually test students from the 3rd grade all the way through the 12th grade, a multitude of tests. There was a superintendent that I remember working under. It was Dr. Jack Davis at the state level. Dr. Jack Davis came from Fairfax County Public Schools to the State Department of Education. He was the one who really pushed the first standards in public education in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Gerald Ballals was then the governor of Virginia. At that particular time, it wasn't called the Standards of Learning. It was called the Basic Learning Skills. It was only in math, science, English, and social studies. But all of a sudden, beginning from that particular point all the way up through 1998, the General Assembly has constantly been building steam with standards of learning. And everything today is built around the standards of learning. The standards of learning were put there due to the evolution of knowledge that has happened. You see, back in the 70s, information was probably spiraling maybe twice or double the amount every year. Well, now with the information technology highway that occurred in 1998, information is at the rate of 8 times each and every year increasing. So that's the reason that we're constantly having to change what we're teaching in terms of rigor and relevance of information to prepare young people for jobs in this world. When we think about it, when I came out and where we are today, we hear about STEM-H. Does anybody know what STEM-H is? S is for science, T is for technology, E is for engineering, M is for math, and H is for health-related fields. That's the big area now in which we're preparing young people across the board. You see, with standards of learning, we're looking at all of the academic areas, the fine arts, etc., and preparing young people. And we have a milieu of information that we can prepare and share with parents, we can share with teachers, and we share with young people. Almost to the extent sometimes that we make school for young people, it's not fun. It could be boring. And you never want to turn young people off because education needs to be fun. Because if it isn't fun, guess what? When they do graduate, they go to work for 40 years. And we don't want to turn them off. We want to turn them on. We talk about preparing young people for the 21st century. You know, we're already 12 years within the 21st century. And it's hard to believe the time is just moving right on. Within the state of Virginia, not only with the standards of learning, we have other legislative measures that monitor what we're learning. One item is called the standards of quality. The standards of quality is governed by the General Assembly. And the General Assembly is required every 2 years to look at all of the information that we teach and decide in terms of how much information should be changed in terms of rigor and relevance. And then that's linked to what is also called standards of accreditation. The standards of accreditation defines in terms of what type of diploma, etc., that you will receive when you graduate. And here are some changes. Diploma changes that will go into effect for 2013-14. And this is a change from a year ago. 13-14, all 9th grade students incoming must earn a board-approved career and technical credential to graduate with a standard diploma. So they must have one career and technical credit. They must complete a virtual class. Students must complete a virtual class online, meaning that they wouldn't necessarily take it at the high school, they could take it at a college. They could take it at home if it's approved by the district. So they'll receive a virtual credit as part of their standard or advanced diploma by the time they graduate 4 years. This is the incoming class again, 13-14. The modified standard diploma for the disabled population is now being phased out. And as of July 1, 2012, the career and technical diploma has been phased out. And an academic and career plan must be in place now for every 6th grade student. There are 32 tests that are given to students by the time that they start from the 3rd grade and go all the way through the 12th grade. What does that do for us? Well, it provides us the data quicker in terms of giving us input and information really at a fingertips notice. It gives us efficient data in terms of how well students are learning. It also allows us to look at whether students are learning at a rate and speed to prepare them for today's jobs. The other part I want to link with these tests, you have a minimum score of 400, you have a maximum score of 600. 600 is the perfect score. And there are cutoffs that we have to look at for purposes of accreditation.